So I ended up doing 7 rows of shells, or you do it until it reaches about 17 inches from the very beginning. So here's the 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So just keep going back and forth. And then when you're done with your shells, which is your flap, then I'll show you how to make the button. And also, this material right here is cotton, the cotton yarn. But what I've used on all the other ones, this is the Cotton Ease. This is what you need to get, which is the very best. And then here's your lion cotton here. So that's what I use for this. Just regular cotton, but you can use either one. The Cotton Ease produces a little bit softer, and it's part cotton and part acrylic. It has a nice feel to it. Okay, here's where I finished. And we can take off these little stitch markers. We don't need them anymore. And we're just going to fasten off like you normally would. This is where you're going to sew this up here. Now if I had done it right and I tried to figure it out right, I would have preferred to have this tail on the other side, and then I could use this and cut it really long and just weave it all the way through here and then sew up the side at the same time, and then your other tail would sew up this side, but somehow I figured wrong. So I'm just going to cut this a good enough length and then just bring it through here. Thread your big needle. And then any which way where you can kind of hide it. And I'll just kind of make that into a little knot. There. So you're just going to sew in your tail, whichever method you're comfortable with. So it doesn't show and so it doesn't unravel. Okay. So I'll keep on going more and then I'll cut it off, but that's good enough for now. And what else was I going to say? Oh, also in the beginning I forgot to mention that it should be a multiple of 5 plus 3. So the pattern calls for 38 single crochets across. But to me, I thought it made the purse a little bit too long, so I did 28. And that worked out. So you, and remember, these shells go every 5 stitches. So that it needs to be a multiple of 5 plus 3. So that would be, you could do 23 across, or 28 is what I did, or 33 or 38 is what they did, or 43 or 48. Okay, so I got 28 was 5 times 5 was 25 plus 3 is 28, and then when you go back it ends up being 27, and so that gives you your 2 on the end. So anyway, that's that. And now is the time before you sew the ends up that you might want to make pockets in the middle. So like I showed you earlier, this is where I sewed 2 pockets separately, one there and one here, and I made this one a little bit longer and then this one a little bit shorter. And then I also did the reverse single crochet around the top, just to practice that stitch, to make it a little fancier. So that's the inside. And as you can see on the outside, doesn't really show that much. You know, you can see a tiny bit coming down here. Now on this red one, I did this one next, and what I did here was I made one long panel of single crochet going all around, and then I just stitched up in between and made different pockets. So however you want to make them. And then I also put it all the way to the, made it all the way to the end so that I could sew, when I sewed the sides up, they got caught inside, so I didn't have to do that extra. I just sewed it all up. You can see how the sides are sewn, you can see that. We're going to work on the button. We want to leave about a 2-inch tail, or maybe 3, so you can pull it through the middle of the button. So right now we're going to do a slip knot. And the instructions say to chain 2. So chain 1 and chain 2. And then we're supposed to work, round 1 would be 3 single crochet in your first chain. So we're going to the first chain and we're going to do 3 single crochet. So here's 1. Now again, if it makes it easier for you, you can put your little stitch marker in that very first one, so you'll know where to start for your next round. And now this is 2 and this is 3. Third one is always the hardest. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and there's our marker. So it says to join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet to form a ring. So that's our first single crochet. So we're going to remember that that's it right there. Take out our little marker and we'll put our crochet hook right in there. And now we're going to make a slip stitch. So you bring it through both stitches. First one and the one on the hook. There you go.